Alan Wake is a game of which I have heard a lot, but never got the chance to play. The game originally released on 2010 for the Xbox 360 and PC. Later, on 2021, the game received a remaster and was released for all platforms. The sequel was announced and is coming out on October 2023. Seeing that the sequel is shaping up to be an incredible game, I decided to check out the remaster of the first game. Is it as good as people say? Let's find out. Hi everyone, my name is Jeremy, and this is my non-spoiler review for Alan Wake Remastered for the PS5. The game was developed by Remedy Entertainment and published by Epic Games. Alan Wake follows the story of the titular character who goes on a vacation to the small town of Bright Falls with his wife. Alan Wake is a well-known writer, and apparently he's going through a writer's block. He hopes that this vacation will help him get his creative juices flowing again. However, something horrible happens and his wife goes missing. Supernatural things start happening all around town, and now he must uncover the truth and save his wife. The story of Alan Wake is told through voice-acted cutscenes and pages of a manuscript that you find throughout the game, and that is narrated by the main character. It's important to note that the remastered version of the game includes the base game and the 2 story expansions. So let's talk about the visuals of this game. Alan Wake goes for a realistic look. Graphics received a touch up from the generation in which the game was made. Character expressions look pretty good and convey enough emotion, even though you will notice that it's a game from another era. In terms of the performance, the game ran at 1080p 60 frames per second for gameplay, but cutscenes are at 30 FPS, and believe me, it's noticeable. In terms of the music, all I can say is that the game features some very cool thriller music that conveys a lot of mystery and pairs perfectly well with the horror and thriller atmosphere of the game.
Eerie hand-painted graffiti was revealed by my flashlight. Someone had hidden a chest of supplies near it.
So let's talk about the gameplay. Alan Wake is a third-person action-adventure horror game. The game focuses on story, fighting, and a little bit of exploration. The game is divided into episodes that finish and begin as if you were watching a Netflix series. At the beginning of each episode, you will get a recap of what happened in the previous episode and start off at whatever point you are in the story. After that, it's all about reaching your objective and facing the enemies along the way. As part of your arsenal, you have different options that you will find as you traverse through the areas. You have, for example, revolvers, shotguns, rifles, and your flashlight, which you will use to fight off enemies. And this is one important distinguishing mechanic of this game. All enemies are invulnerable until you dispel the darkness in which they are enveloped by using your flashlight or by exposing them to some source of light. After that, you can kill them. Shining the flashlight at them consumes battery, which you will find scattered around the area. Enemies are stunned when you shine light on them. This is something that you will have to use to your advantage when you're fighting multiple enemies. After you get the visual cue that the darkness was dispelled, you can shoot them and kill them. Weapons do not carry between episodes, meaning that each episode you will find the resources that you need to face your enemies. This is not a survival horror game. You are given supplies in good quantity to defend yourself throughout the stage. Other things that you can do is run, jump, and there is a timed dodge mechanic where if you dodge at the right time, you can get a slow-mo effect that helps you during a fight. As part of your user interface, you have 3 things. You have your HP bar, your battery life, and a small compass that helps you with exploration. Every so often you reach light posts that serve as checkpoints, Here, your HP bar is replenished and you are safe from enemy attacks. However, even outside of it, your HP and battery life replenishes slowly by itself. In the case of the flashlight, you can use the batteries to recuperate the battery life fast, which is important in the middle of an enemy encounter. In regards to enemy variety, I have to say that the game is pretty lacking. You mostly face off against people covered in darkness. They come in different sizes, some with more HP than others. So let's talk about the exploration. Each episode takes part in different areas of the town. Areas in this game are very big and open. In this sense, your small compass helps you with finding the path to continue the story. The story objective is always located in what would be the north in the compass. Sadly, even though areas are big and open, they don't have much going on. And level design wise, the town of Bright Falls feels very samey because you spend a lot of the time in the forest with not much to see. Some of the areas are interesting, but they don't feel distinct enough in my opinion. As you traverse the areas, you'll find coffee thermos, which are collectibles in the game. You can also find special chests that contain additional resources to face off against enemies. And most important of all, you will find pages of the manuscript scattered around. These pages contain voice-acted paragraphs that are related to the story. So let's talk about the story aspect in this game and how it interweaves with the gameplay. Alan Wake is a writer, and they really integrated that into the structure of each episode in the gameplay. As you are playing, Alan narrates what is happening in the story, and he reads the pages that you find scattered around. These details really bring the story together with the gameplay, and feels like you are playing through the story of a book. It never gets uncomfortable because the voice actor does an incredible job. One last thing that I need to say regarding the gameplay is that the camera and the controls at times really feel like they are from another generation. When you're driving a car, because you will find cars in this game that you can drive to traverse certain areas, the camera goes crazy. You can move the camera with the right control stick, but the camera will move on its own too and will make you feel dizzy. Additionally, the running mechanic in this game is atrocious. The character can only run for a certain amount of time, but there's no stamina gauge on screen, meaning that you need to pay attention to the character's animations and sounds, because he starts panting as he gets tired. The thing is that he gets tired extremely fast, and not only that, but the dodging mechanic is tied to the running button. So if you have a group of enemies, and you're trying to run away from them, because you're trying to reach a light post to protect yourself, oh buddy, you're gonna have some really hard time with that, because the character really doesn't run or runs too slow or gets tired too fast. So let's talk about the pros and the cons of this game. I'm gonna start with the cons. I guess the first thing that I need to point out is the 30 FPS cutscenes. And I'm gonna say 30 FPS with quotes in the air. They look choppy, and to be honest, I'm pretty sure that some of the cutscenes have frame rates that go below the 30 FPS. They look horrible, and they are in stark contrast with the gameplay. When you finish the cutscene that looks so choppy and you move on to the gameplay, you go from choppy to extremely smooth, and it's jarring. The second thing that I would have to point out of this remaster is the weird sound mixing. For some reason, the voice lines in this game are very low, especially during the cutscenes, and I have my volume set to the maximum inside the game. And there are audio overlapping issues at certain points in the game. And third, but not least, the camera and some aspects of the controls feel like they are working against you. Like I said before, when you're driving a car, the camera goes crazy, and the running mechanic sucks. So let's talk about the pros of this game, and I have two things to point out, and they are intertwined. First of all, the story. The game's story is incredible. It's intriguing and it's worth playing till the end. I'm surprised that they haven't made a Netflix series out of this game. And the second thing is the cinematic feel of it. Not only is the story content incredible, but the way it's presented is as well. From the voice acting to the camera angles to the way certain scenes are framed, it feels like you're playing through a movie in the best way possible. So in conclusion, Alan Wake truly is as good as people were touting it to be, and the remaster gives us the definitive way to play this hidden treasure. Choppy cutscenes, bad audio mixing, and small problems with the camera and the running take away from the experience but do not ruin it at all. The fun gameplay and incredible story makes this game shine even in today's video game landscape. This game is truly an experience that you won't want to miss. For this reason, I highly recommend Alan Wake Remastered for the PS5. So that's gonna be it for my non-spoiler review of Alan Wake Remastered for the PS5. The link to the game's page will be in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!
Stephen King once wrote that nightmares exist outside of logic, and there's little fun to be had in explanations. They're antithetical to the poetry of fear. In a horror story, the victim keeps asking why, but there can be no explanation, and there shouldn't be one. The unanswered mystery is what stays with us the longest, and it's what we'll remember in the end. My name is Alan Wake. I'm a writer.
Hi everyone, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with our content.